What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to talk about some huge news for Helldivers 2. I knew there was an announcement coming today, but I thought it would be something, it is game-related, but I thought it would be something different game-related. This is enormous, and it's enormous when you think about the whole, the first time X or Y or Z thing happens, right? So this is the first game of PlayStation publishing that's going to be on Xbox. Technically, PlayStation does not publish that version of MLB The Show. You might think, okay, well, it's not the first PlayStation. And it's tough because, the developers here aren't even owned versus the developers of MLB are owned. So it gets very messy. But you think of MLB, that's not published by PlayStation on Xbox. I think that's actually published through MLB. This is the first time, and it's a big step, and that's something I kind of want to talk about in this video. But for the quick news, Helldivers 2 coming out on Xbox platforms August 26th. As soon as I saw that day, I saw the tweets directly after of all the pictures, but I thought Gears of War. This is an incredible day. In fact, you couldn't have planned this any better. And I wonder if they planned it like this on purpose, because this is the day that a PlayStation, have we ever gotten something like this, and will we ever again? Because on this day, a PlayStation Helldivers goes to Xbox, and on this day, a Xbox Gears of War goes to PlayStation. Insane. I actually am getting Gears of War physically on PS5 just because I want to have that as a memento. But it's incredible. It really is. It's an odd world. You don't normally expect to see that stuff, but it's a world we have to start embracing. Okay, so now in terms of what this means for the future, I like this a lot. I think it's an interesting thing, because the first thing I want to say is, well, this is a little late. And what I mean by that, just my initial kind of feeling, is hopefully this is just a test run to get it going in the first place, because I have nothing against the strategy. If PlayStation wants to do the exclusive thing, which, to a large part they're still doing, they've got an interesting tier thing going on, right? Because you have the God of Wars and Spider-Mans and Horizons and stuff, right, that seemingly will never make it to Xbox. Now, you don't want to say never, forever, because that could honestly very much change. But again, that's where these tiers come in. You have these games that come out on PlayStation, and eventually they come out on PC, right? And the goal there, as we've heard, is to get the players to associate those games with PlayStation and come in for the sequels, okay? And I think that's a pretty okay plan. Ultimately, I don't know if it really, really works. I think PC players are willing to always wait. They're a very patient group. And so, I understand where they're coming from. I think Shuhei Yoshida has even said, that is their plan. It's not an amazing plan, but it's fine, whatever. Okay, so you have that. You have their third-party deals, right? The Silent Hills of the world and stuff like that. Final Fantasies, right? So you lock that behind your exclusivity. I know a lot of people don't like that. And then eventually, it breaks out of its shackles and it comes out in other places. And then you have games like Helldivers. So again, the reason I say test run and, and personally, going forward, I would not do it like this. I would do it day and date. And I know for a long time that scared PlayStation. It scares them with PC. And really only the third-party stuff is how those companies can get around it, right? Where it's I think going forward, a Stellar Blade 2, say if it's PlayStation console exclusive, I think they would very, very much like to be PlayStation and PC day one. Final Fantasy, there's no way in hell that game's not coming out Part 3 on PC day one, maybe even Switch 2, right? So it's these are ways the other companies are saying, hey, I get what you're trying to do, but we're not all about that. For Helldivers, look, multiplayer games need players. It's as simple as that. I could ramble like I always do as much as I want, but it boils down to that. When you release a multiplayer game, it's best of you to get it out to as many people as humanly possible. At that point, it is screw the whole recognizing a console or recognizing a publisher. And I get that. I mean, you look at what Xbox is doing, which is going away from associating with the Xbox console itself. You can really see both ways it plays out. Whatever, you can get into as much arguing about it as you want. But when it comes to, it doesn't really matter. You can argue about that, and I'm sure we have, and I'm sure we will. But when it comes to games like Concord, or Helldivers or anything like this, I petition for Factions too, which is long dead, but back in the day, I petitioned for that to immediately come out on PC. I would have hoped that if PlayStation did not cancel all these live service games, they would have at least come out on PlayStation and PC. But I would go further. Yes, put it on Xbox, put it on Switch too. Day one. You want these games. And this is why Helldivers, I think it's fine. It works because Helldivers is still popular. But the big moment of when it first came out, those first 3-4 months were unreal, like unbelievable, right? So, okay, you missed that, but it's still going on strong, and I'm sure it'll be helped by Xbox a little bit. So cool. You can get away with it. A game like Concord, but I guess what I'm saying that, like with Concord, you can't do, say if Concord was not pulled, you couldn't have Concord come out and then say, all right, well, look, we're willing to put it on Xbox and everywhere else, but we're going to wait a year. No. Not for games like that. And honestly, not games like Helldivers either. It's just nice that Helldivers survived on its own, right? It didn't need the help of Xbox. Concord, I'm not saying Concord would have been saved in any way by anything, okay? But still, the premise is get these games out everywhere immediately. Like I said, you could argue it with God of War. I don't care. Knock yourself out. When it comes to Helldivers, when it comes to Marathon, releasing it on Xbox day one, Fair Game Money Symbol, releasing it on Xbox day one, I would be doing that. Anything that you can possibly imagine like that going forward, it's coming out on every single console just because it should. It should. And that's not even playing console wars in that situation. It's playing keeping your game alive. Like, maybe it's too simple thinking, but it's like, for me, for those type of games, all that matters is that they survive, because it's different than single player games, right? Like, you could play God of War right now. You could play God of War 2018 right now, but like, it ages different. With a multiplayer game, it doesn't age the same way. Like, it only really matters in the moment for multiplayer games. For single player games, they can last literally forever. That's the point. And certain things are trying to stop that from happening, right? But that's how I would approach a situation like this. So I'm very happy to see it. I think it's awesome, and to do it on the Gears Day, I feel like that was planned somehow. But it's a pretty cool news story. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.